Well, hi everybody and welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And today's topic is, what do you do to protect your garden plants? Now, you can spend a lot of money on garden plants, or you spend a lot of time growing them yourself from seed. And there's a myriad of things that want to destroy it. Maybe it's early frost, late frost, snow, wind, hail, rain, and then you have the animals. And it could be just your dog or your cat or your neighbor's cat or your neighbor's dog, kids, bugs, slugs, disease, fungus. There's stuff that want to destroy your garden. And what are you going to do about it? Now, I'm going to tell you my top tips that I do from the very beginning of the garden season to help protect my plants. Number one, tomato bags. Now these are things that you can buy online. It goes right over the tomato cage. It lets air, light, moisture in, but it really protects it so it's not too windy. The bugs don't get in. There's no flea beetles, where a lot of people in the garden have flea beetles already on their tomatoes. And I have just really liked them. Number two, a simple chicken wire fence. You can put this around your entire garden or just certain sections of your garden. And it really protected all those little brassicas, all the cabbages, the kale, the broccolis, when they were so tiny, and now they're getting larger and larger. And just a side note, Joe made these for me and put them in the garden today. And they're just a 2x2 post, has a little PVC pipe, and it holds the hose up. So as my plants get bigger, it's not going to drag across my plants. So I just really appreciated that, and they're purple. Number three, walls of water. Now, walls of water is a plastic circle that goes around a tomato cage, and you fill each of those little cells with water, but it protects the plant from temperature. The water heats up during the day, and at night it retains that water. And all of my different pumpkins and squashes were in walls of water, and so I started taking a lot of them out, and they're just beautiful plants. And then I really like to stuff the straw. Number four, screen covers. Now, on some of my raised beds, I have PVC pipe, but if you don't have PVC pipe, just stick some sticks in the ground. I use a pot, so it doesn't hurt the screen at all. And this is a raised bed that just has garlic. And if it hails, it rains too much, it's really windy, it protects it. But you can simply put the screen over tomato cages, and it's protected my tiny little tomato plants. Number five. These are chicken wire clutches, and I make these. They're very simple, easy to use, and these are just some young broccolis that I just planted the other day. And what I do is I take a roll of chicken wire, and this is 2-foot chicken wire, and I'm just going to unhook it and then start to unravel it. Now you can make these any size, any shape you want. But I am actually going to use a 5-gallon bucket. So I just start to unwind it a little bit. You can use your feet to kind of spread it apart, grab your 5-gallon bucket. And I just use either some side clippers or some other wire clippers. It works perfect. So I just put it around the 5-gallon bucket upside down. And then it lets me know where I'm going to clip it. And I'm just going to go up and down, and I'm going to clip every single one of those. And one of the reasons why I really like a 5-gallon bucket is it has that little lip at the bottom. So no matter how tall your chicken wire is, it rests in there so that you can get a couple of the wires twisted around so it'll stay in the shape that you want to. Now, this being 2 feet tall is a little taller than I need it, so I'm actually going to cut it in half. And you can see how I overlapped it, twisted the wires around so it's going to stay exactly where I want to. So I'm just going to take that center line and I'm going to clip that apart, and I'll go all the way around. So then you can see that I have 2 sections instead of 1 now. And I'm going to make 4 cuts into the wire, and I'm going to go 4 sections down on each one. And that way I can form the the shape that I want to protect my little broccolis, actually, is what I'm going to use these ones for. But you could use it for any plant. So I bend one side, bend the other side, and all you have to do is grab a couple of the wires and just bend them so that it holds it in place on where you want it to stay. And once you have a couple on each side bent, then you can bend the other two sides, and it just makes this great dome. Now, if I was covering larger plants, I could easily make it larger. I just happen to like the size. It goes around a 5-gallon bucket, and it just works for really small plants. Because at the community garden, we have rabbits. And rabbits, unless you fence your entire garden in down there, they will be eating. So it took me about 15 minutes to do 6 of them. And I can just place them right over the broccolis. And to make them hold in place, I'm actually going to use some bamboo. And a couple years ago at one of the stores, at the end of the season, they had these packages of bamboo, 25 cents. And so I just saved them, and when I need them, I just open another package up. Well, those are just some of the things that I do. It helps. Every little thing helps. And I'm sure you have some ideas that you use every year. Tried and true. Some things that were maybe a failure one season were perfect the next season. Write them down in the comments. But those things I showed you were some of the best tricks, tips that I have just really just loved to help my plants. So I hope you try some of them if you're having a problem. Creatures, hail, rainstorms, frost, whatever it is, so we can have the best garden season this year. I will see you next time. And as always, like, subscribe, share with the world, and have a great garden season.